It's time for today's qualifying session to begin here in the United States. Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas. With the weather as it is today, Anthony Davidson, we have, to some extent, to throw the form book out of the window. Who do you see having the advantage on this slippery, unpredictable track surface?
The trouble is, Crofty, they need to be thinking about the race tomorrow. You don't want to go jacking up the ride heights and piling on a few points of extra downforce that you're not going to want in the Grand Prix itself. The Parc Fermé regulations mean that you have to make that choice. The best thing the drivers can do is adapt with the tools they have available in the cockpit. Moving the brake bias forward will help stop the rear end slipping out under braking, and opening up the differential can really help tame the oversteer on corner exit. The drivers that can make best use of these techniques will have the best chance for success here today.
Fantastic. You've got pole.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three. Mr. Monaco, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Well done. Very solid results. You're looking good for the race.
In 2012, America's on-again, off-again love affair with Formula One finally seemed to settle down with the completion of this wonderful racing facility here in Texas. Since then, we've been treated to some incredible races, including, of course, that classic wet-dry championship decider of 2015. We're racing today then in Travis County, Texas, around the 20 corners of the wonderful Circuit of the Americas. We'll be reaching speeds of around 200 miles an hour, and there are plenty of good opportunities to pass, especially through the two DRS zones into Turn 1 and the very long back straight into Turn 12. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. They need 5th or better to ensure they stay in contention for the championship. Anything outside that, and their fate is no longer in their hands.
The key now will be to keep in the right mindset. We've seen time and again that things go wrong if you just try and do the minimum. Not necessarily because of the pressure, but because it's different to your usual approach. They'll need to avoid that and stay focused today.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Mr. Monaco lines up on pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Albon, Sebastian Vettel and Leclerc, Norris, Perez, Sainz and George Russell, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Kimi Raikkonen and Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Grosjean, Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll, Ricciardo and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, you can brake late into 1 because of the incline. It's a slow corner though, so make sure you stay out of trouble. Good luck. Alright, well done off the line. We're in a good position. Okay, entering lap 3 now. DRS has been enabled. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. This is your final lap of the race. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, it's got to be Kevin Magnussen. He displayed exceptional skill out on the track today and wasn't afraid to fight his way through the pack.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
It's looking like the championship is already won. Do you think there's still time for this to change? You had a close battle today, didn't you?
Appreciate your time.
Just wanted to say congrats on the podium. It's thoroughly deserved. We were sweating those last few laps on the pit wall, but you brought it home.